Today on Kitchen Bandito, we are doing poisson en papillote, which is French for fish in parchment paper. Let's get butchering! The rice. This is our side dish. We're gonna do 1 and 2 parts liquid. Perfect rice every time. We went over this before, but just to remember, here you go. So we'll start with this. 2 cups of water. One cup of rice. Okay, here's the important part of doing this dish, is actually making the pouch, which is going to steam our fish. So I'm going to show you a cool trick here. We're using parchment paper because it can stand up to the heat in the oven. And we're going to put a crease down the center, and then we're going to make it into a heart shape. Right, and it's like, check this out. Start in one corner. See it a little bit. Oh, that's awful. Alright, let's do it. I know it sounds weird, but this is going to be the shape that we use to encapsulate fish. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We have our parchment paper already prepared. This is going to be our envelope for our fish, okay? But the first thing we want to do is to add some olive oil here to give it a little bit of a, you know, a little grease thing. So smash it around. Get your hands, it's cool. Here we have a pound of cod. Now we're only going to use a couple of pieces of this. I mean, we're going to cook the rest of it later. But I went with cod because it's a firm white fish. You could do salmon, you could do halibut, you could do all kinds of any other fish, because this technique actually is universal. You can even do chicken. Oh, that's crazy. But either way, check this out. What we're going to do is we're going to lay our filet in the middle. And having a good fishmonger is a thing that's important for you as a cook, is because you need to know someone that actually has a sense of semblance about how they treat their product. So if you get a good fishmonger, they can tell you A, when it was caught, B, how fresh it is, and C, what to look for when you're looking for a fillet. This is very firm. Bones have been removed. They did a due diligence as far as taking care of the process. It should not smell like fish. It should smell like the ocean, which this one does. It's just beautiful, actually. And don't ever be afraid to ask your fishmonger at your local store to sniff the fish, because you should always sniff the fish. Don't laugh. All right, we're gonna go ahead and start seasoning this up before we add our aromatics. So basically this fish, very mild, could take a whole lot of seasoning. So I'm gonna start with my personal favorite, Old Bay. So I'm gonna do a little bit of jazz on that daddy-o. A little bit of pepper, because, I mean, I'm a pepper hoe. And a little bit of kosher salt. Why kosher salt? Well, because kosher salt isn't iodized. And it's got a good crunch too. Okay, we're gonna start assembling our dish right now. Basically, we got all our aromatics already in place. Basically, what we're gonna do is throw them on that fish. And basically, all I did was season it with a little bit of Old Bay, black pepper, and some Obrechi's seafood seasoning that I got from Baltimore. One of my favorite things. But you don't have to do that. You could do whatever you want as far as your flavor profiles. But this is just mine, so I'll give it a rip and then I'll play around with it. It's kind of fun. So check it out. Here's what I'm gonna add right here. I'm gonna add some yellow bell peppers, right? Because they're gonna steam in there with the fish. A little bit of garlic, know, just for fun. Some San Marzano small tomatoes. They're like little cherry tomatoes, but they're San Marzano, so they're Italian, and that's cool. Then we're going to add some chives, just for a little bit. A lemon and a lime. Look at all this deliciousness that we're throwing on here. A couple of shallots. Get that garlicky, oniony flavor. And a sprig of dill. Dill and fish go famously together. It's awesome. Now you would think, hey, Bandito, you're not using any butter. Why not? Because we don't need it. We don't need butter. We could use it though. It would be delicious. But the point being is that right now we're trying to keep it light. A very light, healthy dish. All right? Here's the trick. When making fish en papillote, or poisson en papillote if you want to get all French, is that the technique is the folding of the parchment paper to seal the package so it steams. That is the most important part. And it's real simple. It looks complicated, but it really isn't. Look at this. We're just gonna fold it over. See, we're halfway there. We're already halfway there. The trick is an airtight seal. So you want to get it lined up. Okay. Okay. Nothing wrong. And then we just start folding the edges. Now you want to keep these creases very, very tight because we don't want to lose the steam. And it's just fold over, fold over. See what I'm doing there? Fold over, fold over, fold over, and repeat as such, and keep going on. Now, when you start getting to the other end, you realize you have a channel there. And this is the point where you could actually add some liquid, because this is now a pocket, okay? So you could put some white wine in there, you could put in some chicken stock, or fish stock, or shrimp stock, or veal stock, or I don't know if you want to do veal with fish, but either way, point being, check this out. Done and done. And now we'll transfer this. We're going to transfer this to a cookie sheet. Bob's your uncle in the oven. 11 minutes, 450, and you have a feast with veg and your side of rice that we made earlier. So let's get cooking. Okay, what we're doing now is making dinner for my cameraman, who is very hungry right now and decided to show up with a bunch of scallops while we were doing this dish. But ha, joke's on him. I'm using the same ingredients to help make a plate of scallops. And I'll show you some tricks. This is pretty cool. Check it out. Basically what I want to do is when you're frying scallops, is that you want them to be dry. That way you get a nice sear on the outside, okay? First you gotta season them. Yeah, but we're gonna pat them. See all that liquid that came out of them? They call that a liquor. That's some good stuff. And that's another show. But either way, let's go ahead and pat these guys dry. I just use a paper towel, it's pretty simple. Yeah. There we go. Okay? But here's the thing about scallops. Hold it fast, I gotta throw this away. Pow! Okay. On scallop there's a little muscle right there on the side. It is absolutely inedible. It's like a rubber band. So we get rid of that. Boop. On each one of them. It's usually right on the side. Some come without it. Sometimes it was taken care of by the grocer. But no, here we go. Here's another one. Boop. So you want to make sure you get rid of that, because you can't eat it. See, there it is. There's another one. Comes right off. It's not very hard. So we'll go through all of these and just remove that little, oh, hello buddy. Okay, now we've got our scallops cleaned. They're ready to go into the pan because I have to make an extra dish because my cameraman is hungry. Son of a... But either way, here's how we're gonna do it. It's gonna be really fast. Scallops cook very quick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sear them in a pan, seasoned. So let's go ahead and season these guys up. Do a little black pepper, a couple of grinds. That's pretty cool. And then we're gonna add it. Well, why not? We're already here. Let's use some more Old Bay because, you know, we already started that. So flavor profiles. Perfect. Not too much, just enough to perfume it. And then let's get them ready for the pan. So what we want to do is we want the pan to be as hot as possible. So we're going to have a really screaming hot pan. That way we get the sear. And I'll show you how to lay them into the pan. Check this out. Okay, check it out. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to sear our scallops. So I'm going to put it on high heat. You want the burner to be really, really, really full throttle. That way you get that nice sear on the scallop. You're only going to do it 3 minutes on one side and 1 minute on the other side. Perfect. And I'll show you how to do it. Check it out. Add a little oil. All right. Give that a minute to shimmer. And by shimmering, you'll start to see little waves going into the oil. It starts to heat up. Oh, there we go. What we don't want to do is we don't want it to smoke. And olive oil has it. See, it's already starting to do that. Let's go ahead and cool this off for a moment and start adding our scallops. Bang. And we're going to lay them in a clockwork kind of pattern. 12 o'clock. Woo, buddy, there we go. That's hot right there. Whoops, sorry about that. That way you know how to turn them. Here's what we got going on now. You can always tell how a scallop is being cooked because you could check the opacity. See how they're translucent? But the minute they start to become opaque, that's how you know they're cooking. So we'll let it ride. 3 minutes, one side, and then we'll flip them in the same order. We'll flip them in the same order that we put them down. That's how you know the cooking timing. So, oh, they already smell delicious. You know what's cool? Let's go ahead and add the extra veg that we had from the leftover dish. Some of our leftover veg we got here. We're going to use the bell peppers, the chives, just dump them right in the middle. Not raw. Here we're going to do some shallots and some garlic. Move that aside. Give it a stir. Hey, come on, hit the pan. Let's get cooking. Okay, we're about ready to flip them right now. Let's see if we got that Maillard reaction going on, that browning that makes the whole brown food taste good. Check this out. Oh, there you go. That's what we're looking for. Now, we'll just flip them once, let them ride for another minute or so. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, I better start moving because this pan is hot. Here's the cool thing about this, is they're pretty much done. Their carryover heat and the energy that's in the pan is going to keep them cooking. So we can go and shut this thing off. You know these brown bits here, these are what they call the fond, which means foundation. We're going to deglaze with a little bit of white wine. You might want to step back for this, but we'll pull it off the heat so we don't get the actual flame up. Oh baby, there you go. Okay, I think our fish are done. It's been about 11 minutes. We're at 400 degrees. And let's check it out. And we'll start plating. Oh, there we go. naturally, they're gonna start deflating because when the steam is, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I wish you could smell this. All the aromatics from the peppers and the tomatoes and the dill and all of the seasonings. Look at that. And the cool thing about this is to present this at a table where your guests can actually open their own package and then serve them solids. Okay, well here's our finished dish. We got poisson en papillote, which is cod in parchment paper with several aromatic vegetables and also some dill. We also have a side of white rice and seared scallops and some steamed veg on the other side there as well.